Hi, friends. My topic for today's discussion is demand and law of demand. All of you know what is demand. Normally, in normal English meaning, by demand we mean desire. But in economics, it means something more than the desire. Like you like to have the latest model of iPhone. That is your desire for specific commodity. But in economics, along with desire, you should have sufficient resources to purchase the desired commodity. That is, you should have the income or you should have money to purchase the iPhone. At the same time, you should have willingness to spend the resources. Like you desire iPhone, you have money, but you feel it is waste of money. Why should I buy? Right. So I'm able to manage with the Android phone. I don't need it. So it means that you don't have willingness to spend the resources. Then it does not become demand. Your desire does not become demand. At the same time, it is also necessary that there is a commodity, that is iPhone, of the model which you desire must be available at a certain price, certain place, and certain time. Then only it becomes demand. Otherwise, the desire does not become demand. The definition of demand, according to Benham, the demand for anything at a given price is the amount of it which will be brought per unit of time at that price. So demand is always at a particular time and at a particular place, at a particular price. Then only it becomes demand. Coming to determinants of demand. Demand depends on number of factors. The first and the foremost factor is the price of the product. Of course, when the price is low, we buy more. When price is high, we buy less. But there are other determinants of demand also, other than the price, like consumers' income. If consumers' income is good, consumer will buy more or will not think before buying that particular product. Like again, giving the example of iPhone, for an Indian consumer, iPhone is a luxury. So a middle income group person or above middle income group person will think before buying the iPhone. But a higher income group person or a higher income group consumer will not think twice. So consumers' income is the second most determinant or most important determinant of the demand. There are other determinants like prices of related goods. Prices of related goods like the price of Android phones, prices of other types of phones available, all this also matters. Or the prices of the cellular phones, mobile phones, which are competitive with that particular model of iPhone. If those phones are expensive, then we don't mind paying higher price for the iPhone. But if those phones are relatively cheaper, then we will think twice. Then there are tastes and trends, tastes and preferences, fashions, all this also matter. Population or number of buyers. If population is high, number of buyers are high, then demand in that particular market will be high. So India now, it has got second highest population in the world. So number of buyers are high, and that is the reason most of the multinational companies are attracted towards India because of high demand. Then there are expectations about future prices also. If people expect that prices in future are going to rise further, then they may buy more even now, even if the prices are higher now. Like it happens in products like gold. Even if prices are high, people are expecting that it will rise further. People will buy more to profit from the sale in future, to so that they can sell it whenever they need, because the prices are continuously rising. Same way real estate also, when it is in the upswing, people buy at higher price thinking that they can gain, or they can avoid paying still higher prices in the future. Then demand for large number of products are created by advertisements, publicity, festive seasons and climate. Like in India, during Diwali, the demand for gold will be higher. Climate also matters, like we buy more sweaters during winter season. Level of taxation. If taxation is high, price will rise depending on the percentage of tax. So it will have the same effect of rising price. Now, in law of demand, we assume that other things remain same. That is, all these other determinants of demand remain constant. And then only price is changing. Law of demand states that higher the price of the good, lower is the quantity demanded. So price is high. If it rises, you see the upward arrow. Quantity demanded declines. Price falls, quantity demanded increases. You see the downward arrow in the second part, and quantity demanded is increasing, upward arrow. It means that there is negative relationship between price and demand. So one variable is rising, other variable is declining. It means that there is negative relationship, or we can also say inverse relationship. Now this holds good only when there is assumption of ceteris paribus, that is other things do not change or other things remaining constant. What are other things? The other things are all these things which are remaining constant. That is consumers' income, tastes, prices of related goods, and so on. Samuelson's definition for law of demand, it states that people will buy more at lower prices and less at higher prices, other things remaining same. Now, what are the assumptions of law of demand? The first is there are no changes in tastes and preferences of the consumers. Like suddenly, if you are eating parathas every day, you prefer the nearby restaurant which is selling good quality paratha. But suddenly there is a research report, health research report says that there is too much of fat in paratha or too much of carbohydrates, which is not good. Suddenly you may realize you shouldn't eat so much of parathas. The weight is rising and it may give health problems in future. So your tastes and preferences will change. Suddenly there may change in fashions. Then we also assume that consumers' income remains same. If consumers' income increases or decreases, the law will not apply. Prices of related goods or related commodities should not change. So, if we are consuming tea, the related commodity that is substitute is coffee. So, suddenly, if coffee becomes cheaper, even if there is no change in the price of tea, the demand for tea will be affected. The commodity should be a normal commodity. That is, it should neither be a superior commodity nor a inferior commodity. Now, what is a normal commodity? As I said, normal commodity is the one which is neither superior nor inferior. So the question is, what is a superior commodity? Superior commodity is one for which you buy more when income increases. Like you got a promotion. Now, you will not like to eat with the roadside vendors. You may like to go to a restaurant, or if you are eating in a small Restaurant, you may like to go to three-star or five-star restaurants because yeah, such services are superior commodity. In the same way, when your income increases, you may like to use branded products. You may not like to use the ones which are locally made. For inferior commodities, it is opposite. When income increases, rather than increasing demand, it will lead to decrease in demand, like lower quality rice. When people's income increases, people will shift to superior quality of rice. So the demand for lower quality of rice will decrease. Now, coming to demand schedule, what is demand schedule? Demand schedule is a tabular representation showing different quantities of commodities that would be demanded at different prices. So, actually, in demand schedule, we have the price in one column and demand in another column. There are two types of demand schedules, individual demand schedule and market demand schedule. Individual demand schedule is the demand by one individual. So in this we have the demand by A and demand by P. The market demand is demand by A plus demand by B. That is the total market demand. We assume there are only two individuals in the market. So if there are n number of individuals, we have to add the demand by all the individuals together. So if price is 30 rupees per apple, individual A demands only 4 units, individual B demands 3 units, and the total market demand is 7. Price falls to 25 rupees. Winter is approaching, apples are becoming cheaper. So demand by individual A increases to 6 apples, B buys 5 apples, and the total is 11. So it goes on as price falls, demand increases. So price falls to 10 rupees. The total market demand increases from 7 apples to 32 apples. Now, what is demand curve? In demand curve, we draw the the demand schedule graphically. Demand curve is nothing but the graphical representation of demand schedule. So on x-axis, we have demand and on y-axis, price. So what we do is we plot the points of market demand against 30 we will have the against price of 30 we will have the point 0.7, against price of 25 we will have point 0.11 and so on. So we get the demand curve. DD is the demand curve. On x-axis it is demand and on y-axis it is price. So DD is the demand curve. It slopes leftwards from left to right, it slopes downwards from left to right. It shows the negative relationship. Thank you for watching. My next video will be on movement along the demand curve versus shift in the demand curve, and then we will talk on the exceptions to the law of demand.